best. That shit crazy.
Are we live, Silent Assassin? Are we live? We are live. Welcome to the All Even Podcast. My name is Barry Grant Jr. You can catch the show on TikTok, Instagram, X at All Even Podcast, All Even Media on TikTok. You can listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. I'm all over the place. Go to YouTube, hit that subscribe button, like, share, and comment. Tell a friend to tell a friend because the page is growing. I'm Mr. 11K. We continue to push on. We are pushing closer to that 12,000, and you don't know when it's going to happen. It might happen with one video. It might happen with, who knows? I might just go crazy viral overnight. Who knows, Silent Assassin? Well, what's going on? How you doing?
Yeah, nothing much. Pretty good.
Decent week.
Yeah.
You watched Sinners.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
Yeah. It was awesome.
Yeah. That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard, and I can't wait to watch it. Yeah. I don't want to hear nothing. I haven't looked at a review. Anytime my friends tell me, oh, yeah, Sinners, stop it right there. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't even know what the movie's about, and I don't care. Yeah. I want to get there and find out what the hell it's about.
Yeah, definitely. It's only April, but I think it's probably going to be a movie of the year. Just, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just
because it's an original.
Yeah, a new take on just seeing something,
right.
which is awesome. Because you go to the movie theaters and everything's kind of like a rendition of something, but
it's very, very basic, and it's kind of, there's a template in Hollywood now, right, for movies. This looks like it's breaking that template and kind of going back to originality, and that's what we like, right? That's why when you see, like, obviously Sundance Film Festivals, independent film, there's originality, and that's why those films, people who are really into the business, they love those films because there's something original feel. There's an old school nostalgic feel to those movies, and I think this particular movie gives people that same feeling. You know,
it definitely was. It was definitely a big budget movie, but just it didn't feel like it was like independent. Right. It felt fresh and something new and exciting, especially being like a filmmaker like this. I wouldn't say I didn't have high hopes going into it, but I thought it was just gonna be like, okay, like a cool movie, but no, like I'm still thinking about it till this day. I saw it a couple days ago. The soundtrack played in my head, played in my car.
That's what everybody's saying. Awesome. The soundtrack is fire.
Yeah. It's really cool. Like this, I'm not gonna say give it away, but there's this one scene in it. That's just, I just replays in my head. It's just so awesome. Like when you see, we could talk about it.
Yeah.
But it was really, really good, and I suggest everyone to go.
Definitely, everybody go out there and go watch Sinners, man, because I've heard nothing but great things. The fact that Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 99.5 or some shit like that.
Yeah.
It's
perfect almost.
Yeah, perfect. So listen, we are recording on a Thursday night. Obviously, the NFL draft is going on right now. I got my boys on the Grid Network. They're handling the live NFL draft first round. Shouts to them. I guess we can kind of go over a couple of picks, but this show ain't about that, right? We cover football. That's cool. Draft is a big night. That's fine. We got bigger fish to fry tonight because this whole Shannon Sharpe situation, like, we got to talk about it. We got to break it down. We have to discuss it. Now, obviously, I am not picking sides. I won't. But if I do got to kick somebody back in, I will. So we're going to discuss that a little bit. We're going to talk some basketball. Obviously, the NBA playoffs is here. Nico Harrison is completely out of his mind. I have a message for Giannis Antetokounmpo, and I hope that he listens. I hope his fans listen. I hope the Milwaukee Bucks find this and listen to it. Evan Mobley, he's the Defensive Player of the Year. Shouts to him. We got Mets news. We're going to discuss the latest and greatest things in Metland because they do have the best record in baseball. There was some exciting news that happened tonight or today, and I am over the moon as a Mets fan when I heard this. There's also some other stuff that makes me as a Met fan want to do backflips and cartwheels. The Braves are imploding, and I'm going to talk about that as well. And then we have some possible merging of two companies that we don't like it. Garbage, right? Relevant news of the week, and the greatest segment on the planet, Dummy of the Week.
Dummy, yeah.
Now, let's just get into this. Shannon Sharpe, what day was it that he went to his Instagram and did that video? Silence House. Do you remember? Today's Thursday. Was it
2 days ago, maybe?
Was it a couple of days ago? So, if you've been living under a rock for the past 5 days or so, a couple of days, you probably don't realize what's going on, but Shannon Sharpe has been accused of the big R word. And it came from a 20-year-old OnlyFans model. Her name is Gabrielle Zuniga. Her OnlyFans handle is what? Carly? So, goes by Gabby, according to Shannon Sharpe. She is suing him for $50 million. And Shannon Sharpe has now countered with his own. So we're going to go ahead and play this response that he had. Let's see if I can.
And from the heart, this is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans. To my family, friends.
All right. So Shannon Sharpe then responds with that Instagram post talking about he's going to counter sue for defamation. This is nasty work. And it's nasty work for several reasons. One, you have Tony Busby, who has been infamous for going after elite, big-time black celebrities and trying to blackmail them, trying to get them in court, trying to do these BS civil cases. Jay-Z was one of the latest ones that case fell through, and we seen what happened with that. Now it's Shannon Sharpe. So my thing is that, okay, she goes ahead and she says that this happened. Yet this is a relationship that's dating back, I believe, since 2023. So at what point, when she was moving with him to Vegas and then moving around with him, that this became an assault situation? We seen that his lawyer came out recently, and he was just recently on Don Lemon's show. His lawyer, Lanny Davis, kind of detailed the timeline of events. I remember we joked on this show that Shannon Sharpe had that Instagram accident where he was digging somebody back out on Instagram, got caught live, right? So there's some text messages there that state that she was upset about that happening and him being with somebody else, and Shannon having to pay kind of like some hush money to keep her quiet, and she was mad about it, and she was kind of demanding that he would pay now and all this nonsense. Like, let's be honest here. Shannon was paying this young lady to smash. Like, that's just what it is. You see the text message talking about 25, what did you say, 25,000 a cheek? She don't even, she ain't even got yams like that. Like, what are we talking about here? And then I think he kind of countered jokingly 10. Like, what are we doing? So, all right. So he's paying this girl. They have some type of relationship. It's a sexual thing. They're tying each other up. They're talking nonsense. She talking about black baby soup, all this wild shit. Like, yo, this is wild stuff, and I didn't realize that Shannon was this freak, nasty, old ass man. Like, what are we doing? But there's a bigger issue here at play. Is that Shannon Sharpe allegedly was in negotiation, I believe, either with the Volume or ESPN for, a potential contract extension, anywhere between 100 million, 120 million rumored. And then all of a sudden, this comes out. So if she had issues with him back in December, when all of this was transpiring, something tells me that she probably knew that this was coming down the pipe. And now this entire thing just kind of explodes. And now that there's this $50 million lawsuit. So we were talking off pod, Silent Assassin. And my thing is this. You never want to take these things for granted. Anytime somebody says that there is some assault situation, they've been assaulted, they've been, the R word gets thrown around, you got to take it seriously. And I am not going to sit here and disparage her in regards to what she might have gone through. We are going to wait until the evidence comes out. It goes to court, we can be able to read the documents, read the transcript and all this other stuff, cool. But outside of that, I'm not going to touch saying that I don't believe her or I believe her. I just need to see the evidence. I'm looking at the text messages. I can be able to make assumptions from there, but it doesn't tell the entire story clearly. She can be able to use this, right? And if she did get assaulted, try to get justice for yourself. Problem is, when you go ahead and align yourself with Tony Busby, you automatically look guilty. Because if you have something that happened to you, clearly you're making money on OnlyFans. So you're not broke. You have some money there, which means that you can be able to hire an attorney to be able to assist you with this matter. But for you to go ahead and hire the sleaziest scumbag attorney out there when it comes to trying to go after, high profile black men, you automatically look guilty. You automatically look like you're lying. It's like the boy who cried wolf, right? At some point, somebody's going to be telling the truth. But at the end of the day, if you keep doing BS and you keep aligning yourself with people who are scummy, you're not going to be taken seriously. Because if everybody looks at Tony Busby's track record, it's not a good one. And if his track record is bad, that means his client is going to suffer the same fate, unfortunately. So that's one. Two, for somebody like Shannon Sharpe, if there was a deal on the table that they were negotiating, that's on halt now. And I don't know if it'll come back. He just put out a release, and I'm going to go ahead and read that release. Give me a second here. Because that in itself was shocking to me. So the release is, my statement is found here, and this is the truth. The relationship in question was 100% consensual. At this juncture, I am electing to step aside temporarily from my ESPN duties. I will be devoting this time to my family and responding and dealing with these false and disruptive allegations set against me. I plan to return to ESPN at the start of the NFL season. I sincerely appreciate the overwhelming and ongoing support I have received from my fans, family, friends, and colleagues. Shannon Sharpe. So I was shocked to know that was his decision. I think it's the smart one. You rather step away, get some space between it. But this is going to have residual effects for him. Outside of his business, right? Outside of Club Shay Shay, outside of Nightcap, you know, his production studio that he's doing, his production company, you know, him working for ESPN, him having the volume deal, him doing other things is going to, there's some question marks there now because companies are going to want to distance themselves until they see how it transpires. And even when it finishes or concludes, he's still going to have that sour, you know, aura around him. You're going to have people that are out there like, yo, I don't believe him. I don't believe that this is true. I don't believe that that he's telling the truth here. That he's had a track record of being aggressive. Those are things that might end up staying with him, and that's a problem. That's a big concern for me, and I don't know what the future holds for Shannon, but I just believe that at his age, at the level that he's at, you have to be a lot more careful than this. Like, you cannot move this way. Like, you need to make sure that you're putting all of your ducks in a row. Like, if you're this high-profile athlete or media personality, and you're going to go ahead and go take this 20-something-year-old girl and pay her, she's OnlyFans model, why don't you just go get yourself a high-end escort? Just do that. Why this?
Why take the risk?
Yeah.
It's not worth it. Yeah.
Derek Jeter used to have women sign NDAs and leave them a gift basket in the morning. Driver used to take them wherever the hell he had to go. It's great, right? He did this for 20 years until he got out of the game, and then he ended up getting married. That's the way it goes. You get out of the limelight, you get out of that life, then you can be able to settle down. Shannon Sharpe, you still in the life. Why would you put yourself in harm's way? Like, you've been dealing with this chick for a while now, and it's just like, bruh, this is what you get tied up with. I'm not judgmental, but this, come on now. Like, you can find that at the Whole Foods down the street. Like, you Shannon Sharpe, man. What?
That's what he likes, I guess.
Yeah, he loves the snowflakes. I'll tell you that right now. There's been plenty of talk about him and his preferences, but my thing is, it's the age gap that bothers me. Like, you have daughters that are a little older, probably, maybe around the same. Like, that to me is just.
It's just like I have a dad who's dating, and whenever like we have conversation about who he's going around with,
yeah,
I always be like, they can't be within a similar age.
Absolutely not.
It's just so like it's weird.
It's uncomfortable.
Like he wouldn't like do that, but I'm just saying like if that was a scenario, I'd be like, I can't support this.
No,
it's just weird. Like a girl that's a year or two older than me, like at the dinner table, like, oh, this is my girlfriend. I'd be like,
right.
Who are you? Like, get out of the house. Like,
right.
I'm not associated.
Get this waitress out of here. Like, what are we doing? She had to take our order, Dad. What's going on? You like, this is crazy. Like, that's the part. Like, I'm almost 40, and there's no way, if I was a single man, right, that I would ever take up a 20-something-year-old. I would feel weird.
Yeah. It's like maturity too. Like, you can have a few things in common, but it's never gonna be like that's like a crazy age difference.
Yeah.
Like, how are you gonna get along with 25-year-olds when you're 50 years old? Like, there's no way that dynamic works. It's only for one reason.
Exactly.
Reason
only, so. One reason only. And the thing is, Silas has the nasty work that I saw in those text messages. Like, she over here talking about licking his butt crack. Like, what are you into, bro? Like, what are you into, bro? Like, you over here talking about you gonna beat up the young. Like, that is that what you into? Like, dude, it's just not a look. It's not a good look, man. It's sloppy. it's, I'm not even going to say it's distasteful. Everybody has their kinks, right? But dude, like, there's no reason why you couldn't pick up a high-end escort if this is the case. Go crazy, right? Go ahead, go crazy. But I can promise you, if you went ahead and went to go get the high-end escort, there would never be no $50 million lawsuit. You know what I'm saying?
That's business.
That's business.
Yeah. It's all behind the closed doors.
Yeah.
That's it.
It ain't personal. It's Monday. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, come on now. Like, that for me, that's the thing. But again, when you're dealing with high-profile celebrities, athletes, movie star, whatever it is, right? There's this level of invincibility that they think that they have. There's this level of control that they think they have. Like, I'm in control. I'm the one that's controlling this narrative. I'm the one that's giving out the money. So I'm dictating the protocols and the guidelines for this particular transaction in this relationship. No, you're not. Because just like how it happened in December, she got mad like you guys are in this relationship. Like, are you dating this young girl? Because if somebody asks you, you probably say no. So if that's the case, if it is no, then why is she behaving like she is? And then you have to pay her to silence her, to keep her happy because you over here ripping something else. Like, that's my thing, man. And that's why, you know, when I said in the opener that, you know, I might have to kick his back and pause a little bit, it's just like, dude, like, you have always been the guy that has the moral compass of telling these young athletes of how to move and what to do and all these other stuff. But bro, you behind the scenes doing nonsense like this, it doesn't paint you in a good light. Even if you never assaulted her, even if the R accusation is false, this is not a good look. Like, for companies that are trying to get into business with you, if this is something, this might not be something that you can kind of, you know, get away from. A person like Jay-Z can get away from this because it's Jay-Z. Like, you are in a different situation where a black man in the media space in regards to sports that have, you know, you've kind of cracked the glass ceiling in regards to the mold of what they want. You're completely opposite from what people have always done in the media space, and you've set the trend, you've set the mold now. But, you know, if this is something that kind of lingers on, you clear your name, okay, cool. You're not going to, obviously you wasn't going to jail as a civil, but you didn't pay out any money. You ended up, you know, convincing the jury, convincing the judge and all that stuff, cool. But this will never escape him. It just won't. Because he's either going to get labeled as an abuser, he's going to get labeled as a manipulator by some groups out there, or he's going to be labeled as a what is the word that I'm looking for? When not a sugar daddy, because clearly that's what he is, but it's more of a like when an older person starts to groomer. You're a groomer, right? I remember that Leonardo DiCaprio has this people talk about him like he's this groomer because he just likes to date young women, right?
Yeah, there's like a thing where like once they reach like 25, then it's
he kind of cuts them off.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting too old there. Huh? What? When are you turning 25? 6 months. So, right? Got to start clearing out the closet, right? So it's out there for a lot of people, and now he's going to be grouped into that same mindset. And on top of that, you're going to have people that have always been detractors of yours saying that you don't like black women. You don't like other women. You like to walk with the whites. Like, whatever it is. Like, rightly or wrongly, you can be able to, like, choose whoever you want to be with, but now you're gonna have people just out here with narratives and kind of like, you know, killing your name. They're defaming you. They're talking nonsense. You're the new Will Smith in another way. Like, it's jokes now. I've seen so many jokes. You know, the internet is undefeated when it comes to this stuff. But, you know, it's just really, really unfortunate that we're actually here, that a sleazebag attorney like a Tony Busby can be able to get this young girl to doctor up the conversation, to, you know, tape the conversation and then edit the conversation. First off, I've seen better cuts than in a kid that just started editing school, right? The jump cuts is nasty work. You can tell that shit is jump cut all through the conversation.
It's wild. It's like you hear like the background sound.
Yeah, background changes. Like, what are we doing? You can clearly hear that it sounds like they're role playing.
Yeah.
Right?
It sounds like, yeah, like I said, it sounds like an AI bot, like just like
right.
the way that it's the conversation's flowing just sounds off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause I'm sure he probably, you know, she's more into that than he is, maybe, and he's just kind of playing into whatever the fantasy is or the fetish is, whatever it is. And you can tell he's just like, yeah, junkie in the street. Yeah. Like, whatever y'all are into, but don't try to now flip it and try to do this, because like I was telling you off pod, Solid says, I feel bad for you young people out there right now. Is that the climate is like the Wild Wild West. You don't know who to trust. You don't know who to be able to confide in. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't send no pictures. Like, people going to exploit it. It's nasty work. It's crazy. It's so crazy.
It's definitely wild out there.
Yeah.
Like, on both ends.
Yeah.
Who do you trust?
Pause. Yeah.
Yeah, so, but, you know, we'll see how it plays. Like, we have to kind of get all the information to really figure out who's at fault. You know?
Yeah.
So
100%. And the last part of this, before I move on, is Jig Supreme chimed in, right? And we all know who I'm talking about. And he took to his podcast and he was talking about it and said, you know, I brought Shannon Sharpe in, but you know, this is over my head. And you know, I can tell you that we've had conversations. I've had conversation with the execs at Disney and ESPN and all that stuff. And I'm just like, this is the part that got me, because I'm like, why are you having conversations with Disney execs and ESPN execs over someone else? Wouldn't Shannon be the one having those conversations? So for me, it's just like, I don't like to wear the conspiracy hat. You know I don't. That's not my bag. It's Claw's bag, right? I'm not putting on the aluminum hat, but for a guy that's about to make some bread with volume and, you know, maybe have his own show, whatever it is, or, you know, make more money, make kind of set the record or whatever the hell it is, right? We don't really know exactly what the actual details or the figures were. It's all speculation, but all of a sudden, this lawsuit drops. All of a sudden. And someone is having conversations with executives at Disney and ESPN. Like, why? If you're so hands off, you have nothing to do. What are they talking to you for? Mm-hmm. It ain't got nothing to do with you. Mm-hmm. He's a contributor on your show. He isn't your show. So that to me was kind of like, okay. Captain Jig strikes again. Because this is right up his bag in regards to just trying to be all in the know when it has nothing to do with you. Now you want to be a journalist. Give me a break. So I'm hoping that things work out for Shannon. Tough situation for anybody to be in. Tough for anybody involved. I stand with Shannon, big Shannon Sharpe fan, but obviously I have to allow the situation to play out. If things do come up and it don't look good for him, I'm going to be the first one to tell you that this is what it is, and I'll share my opinions on that. And if it's the other way, I'll share my opinions on that. But Shannon, if you're going to go get yourself a PYT, go get you one that look like Bill Belichick's girl. Like, don't do this. Like, come on, man. Like, I seen it, I was just like, this is the whole the hooplas about shit. You did. You gotta do better. You gotta do better. That's all I'm saying. You got to do better. Josh Allen, you see what Josh Allen's putting in? You see what I'm talking about? Josh Allen, come on, you gotta step it up. You Shannon Sharpe. You couldn't get no other grade of OnlyFans? There's so many different tiers out there. Come on now. Moving on. The NFL draft is the first round over yet?
It's on 27 pick.
Yeah. Oh, your Giants did some moving and shaking.
Yeah, they
Giants draft Jackson Dart. I knew it.
Their thing.
I knew it. I knew they were gonna do it. You know who broke the news? The GM's son.
Oh, really? For that potential?
He leaked it, I think, on Wednesday or Tuesday to his Instagram story that they were watching his highlight tape of him and his dad.
Another young kid out there.
Screws it up again. Keep your stupid ass kids out of the war room. They should know what the hell is going on. Because kids don't understand how to do things. Yeah, well, what did you guys trade?
The second round, pick next year. I think let me check. I just saw it. I think it was.
Do you have any thoughts on Dart?
Not really. I think we talked about it. Like, this quarterback class hasn't really been that hype.
It's mid
to even really begin with.
Yeah.
I would be interested to see if Shador was here, how that would play out.
Right.
Especially too, there was kind of that hype last year, like, oh, he could be coming because when he was in New York wearing when you had the cleats on. The
cleats,
and stuff,
yep.
Kind of people were hyped up.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a conversation 2 weeks ago where his whole attitude and whatnot has kind of thrown everybody off of him. But he's still,
I've heard
really,
that.
really, like, you see his talent on the field. You're really gonna make him go second round, third round, whatever he ends up. Why don't you take the talent? I understand if you're quarterback, you're the leader of the team. To kind of, if he does have an attitude problem, could that be an issue going forward with how the team plays and whatnot? Yeah, but he's been successful, in college and where he's at, so I don't really think it's a problem there. But he also did have his dad kind of being the coach. So how does that play out with potentially being in New York and the coaching staff and what they see, what they like? It just wasn't a fit. So
yeah, I mean, you kind of laid that out pretty good. My biggest thing is that I'm never gonna judge a 21-year-old about leadership, right? Because people can grow into being a leader over time. You can be immature today, and then a year from now, you can be able to understand what's expected of you at a certain level, and you can be able to rise to the occasion. So those particular knocks that they always put on him, I I laugh at it, and I do believe that he's gonna, wherever he gets drafted, I think this kid is gonna be special. So, let's just go over the mock draft, or not even mock draft, but the draft. So we got Cam Ward went number 1. Travis Hunter, Black Shohei, goes to the Jacksonville Jaguars as they traded up to go get him. Giants get Abdul Carter at 3. Will Campbell goes to the Patriots. That's a great pick for the Patriots. Can play inside and outside of the offensive line. Short arms, but they say that he grades well. He might grade better as an inside lineman than an outside, but depending on where they want him, cool. Mason Graham, great defensive tackle. Nasty, you put him on the line with the best defensive player in the league. Him and Garrett are gonna do some stuff. Ashton Genty goes to the Raiders. That is a Pete Carroll pick. Armand was a Membo. He goes to the Jets. Freak athlete at the offensive line position. So the Jets get a good one there. You got, what's his name, Teroya McMillan. Wide receiver goes to the Panthers. They need him, 6'5" guy. So who you got? You got Kevin Banks. He went to who had 9? Saints. So definitely needed an offensive lineman. You had Colston Loveland, tight end from Michigan, goes to the Bears. That's good. Mikael Williams, he's an edge rusher from Georgia, goes to the 49ers. Tyler Booker, this one was very, very questionable for me. I don't understand what the hell the Cowboys are doing, but guess what? I don't care anymore. Kenneth Grant goes to the Dolphins from Michigan. Tyler Warren, tight end from Penn State. This is who I wanted the Jets to get. Tyler Warren is a freak. He's not Brock Bowers' freak, right? But he's damn sure good. Damn good. Jalen Walker goes to the Falcons. Walter Nolan goes to the Cardinals. Shamar Stewart to the Bengals. Gray Zabel to the Seahawks. Emeka Ibuka goes to the Tampa Bay Bucks. Jade Barron goes to the Broncos. Derek Harmon goes to the Steelers. Omarion Hampton goes to the Chargers. Matthew Golden goes to the Packers. Donovan Jackson to the Vikings. Offensive tackle. Jackson Dart to the Giants we were just talking about. Very interesting pick, man. Very interesting pick. Big guy, though. Pause. 6'2", 223. Has a good arm. He kind of reminds me of, who was the kid that got drafted by the Broncos last year, the quarterback?
Nix.
Yeah, Bo Nix. He kind of reminds me of that. Bo Nix was a guy that had such negative grades going into the draft, and then all of a sudden things changed. When they sat down with him, they saw his metrics and all this other stuff, and then he got drafted, and then he went into the right situation. Went with Sean Payton. Sean Payton's a quarterback whisperer. He ends up having a really, really good rookie season. They have a good foundation to be able to continue to build in Denver now. So you've seen these kids that they kind of come out of nowhere, and all of a sudden they're this can't miss prospect. So I think this is what the Giants are doing. I'm going to tell you right now, if Jackson Dart doesn't work out, they're going to walk. What's your GM name? Shane. They're gonna walk his ass out. They're gonna change the locks one morning. He can't come into the building. That's what's gonna happen. And they go kick his son out. Kick his son out of the side door. Get out. Get out of here.
Well, his son last year was the one kind of pushing to get a quarterback, but then he didn't make the move to draft up. But
I'm telling you, man, if this Jackson Dart doesn't work out, condolences to the front office. James Pierce Jr. goes to the Falcons. Malachi Starks to the Ravens, and Tyleek Williams, defensive tackle, to the Lions. That's where they're at right now. So obviously, like I said, we're recording on Thursday night. It's dropping on Friday, so the first round will be completed. All the grades and analysis will be out there, but pretty much chalk for the outside of the big trade between the Browns and the Jaguars. The Cowboys just jumped out the window. I mean, look, they just continue to just screw up. You know who Matt Miller's pro comp was for Tyler Booker? Tyler Smith. You know who drafted Tyler Smith? The Dallas Cowboys. They just drafted the same player.
Dummy, yeah.
Yo, you can't make this shit up. You can't. You just can't make this up, man. You just can't. So, yeah. I'm curious to see where Shador goes, man, because he's continuing to slide. Let him slide right to the Jets. That's what I want. Let him slide right to the Jets, because there's only how many picks are in this first round left? We have 4 picks. There's 4 picks left.
Quarterback, so
yeah, and exactly. You got the Commanders have theirs, Bills have theirs, Chiefs have theirs, and the Eagles have theirs. So you're not gonna see Shador go anywhere there. So Shador drops to the second round, potentially. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting to see how far he does slide.
Yeah, for the whole up really until the last week or so, he was number 1, number 2.
Yeah.
And now, just, whatever's going on in those meetings, people aren't liking, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever's going on, we don't know. But
you said some execs said that he was the worst.
Worst attitude ever ever seen. So, it's like, we talk about, what can you expect coming from what he's come from, so.
This is a kid that's seen it all. Like, I'm going to sit down with you guys, and what are you going to tell me? What are you going to tell me that I don't even know? Now, granted, he's playing into his age, right? A lot of kids his age think that they know everything. That's a problem. But that doesn't mean that it's not a correctable problem. That's something that you can be able to fix. If there's arm talent there, if there's talent there, you can be able to have this kid shape up, and if that's the biggest drawback, his attitude. I don't think he has an attitude problem. I think this is a guy that's just extremely confident in his abilities. I think that he's the son of one of the most confident men that have ever walked planet Earth, right? So that is naturally going to be his disposition. That's just the way he is. Whoever drafts this kid, wherever Shador goes, this kid is going to be a star. So you go ahead and pass on him for all you want. That's fine. Don't let him go to the Jets. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to be doing backflips in here. So that's it for my draft analysis. Like I said, shouts to the Grid. They're doing their thing right now. They'll be on tomorrow as well for round 2. I think they do round 1 and then round 2 tomorrow, or today and Friday.
2 and 3's tomorrow, and then the remainder Saturday. Okay,
so we have draft first round Thursday, 2 and 3 on Friday, and then the remainder on Saturday.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, moving on. What have I learned so far with these NBA playoffs? What I've learned is matchups matter. And positioning matters. You have the Boston Celtics beating the doors off of the Magic. You have the Cleveland Cavaliers beating the doors off of the Miami Heat. They don't respect them. You have the Oklahoma City pouncing on the Memphis Grizzlies right now. Like, matchups matter. But also, too, stylistically, you can see clashes, right? You got the Nuggets and the Clippers. You have the Knicks and the Pistons. You have the Rockets and the Warriors. You have the Lakers and the Timberwolves. You have some really, really dynamic, interesting matchups in the first round that can go either way. I can see, the Wolves beating the Lakers. I can see the Lakers beating the Wolves. I can see the Rockets beating the Warriors. I can see the Warriors beating the Rockets. So you have some flip-floppy series out there that certain possessions, a game here, a shot here, a bad possession here, a steal here, can be able to decide the fate of a game and swing the series, swing the pendulum in another team's direction. So that's what my takeaway is so far from the NBA playoffs. Knicks won Thursday night. They beat the Detroit Pistons, I think 118-116. They have a 2-1 series lead right now. Golden State, they recently lost to the Rockets, and Jimmy Butler, he got hurt after being taken out by Amen Thompson. So what are my thoughts? My thoughts is that we have some interesting series, but I'm curious to see once we get to games 4 and 5 in these series, what is going to be the potential swinging point and momentum shift or X factor as to why one of these teams has the advantage over the other, right? I didn't mention the Pacers and Bucks series. And the reason why I didn't mention that series is for a few reasons. One, Doc Rivers. I'm never going to be able to give any team that Doc Rivers coaches any praise because I don't think that he knows what he's doing. And I think he's one of those people that are he's in a position that's way over his head at this point. And yes, he has the respect, but even with respect, you can be able to lose touch of the game and lose touch of the message. And I think that Doc Rivers has lost touch of the message a long time ago. The reason why I didn't bring up the Bucks and the Pacers series is because they're down 2-0 to the Pacers. They're not going to win this series like I had predicted. And Giannis is playing out of his mind. He's averaging like 35, 36 points a game. Double-digit rebounds. Close to 6-7 assists. Shooting like 65% from the field. He's doing everything he possibly can to be able to help this team win. Here's the problem. When you have an aging center in Brook Lopez who's like 36, 37-year-old, you have an aging backup big man in Bobby Portis who's 30, 31. You have Kyle Kuzma who he had a good game too, but he's not somebody that you can really rely on and trust to be your tertiary scorer. And then you have Dame coming off the whole blood clot issue, right? You're looking around and you're like, it was only a couple of years ago that we were hoisting that trophy. We had different guys here that understood their roles, that were good in their roles. And we went ahead and got Dame. It's cool, but we had to give up a lot to get Dame. And it's showing in our depth, it's showing in our chemistry, it's showing in our belief system and us thinking or believing that we can be able to win these games. I don't think the Bucks believe that they can be able to win certain games, and when they get down, they kind of get down on themselves. So my assessment is, you ever been in a relationship where you try your best and the other partner is trying their best, but it still's not clicking? Like, you guys have had so much history together that you believe that that's a good reason to stay with each other because, oh my God, I can't see myself with anybody else. We've gone through so many things. Yet there's nothing there. There's nothing left to achieve. Like, you guys have kind of grown apart. You've gotten as far as you can go. You know what I mean? Like, I don't hate you, you don't hate me, but the ride is over and we're okay, right? We can be friends, but it's over. But both of you guys still you wanted to make it work, but sometimes things don't work even when you want to. When both parties want to make it work, sometimes things are just not in the cards. That's where Giannis is with the Milwaukee Bucks. He loves Milwaukee. He's won a championship here. There's history here. He's still playing at a high level for the franchise. They love him. The fan base loves him. They've appeased to him in regards to getting him Dame Lillard to try to, get him another big bona fide star to be able to help him get to a championship again. They're trying all of these things, but both are trying and nothing's working. Because at the end of the day, in this new landscape of how to build a team, that's not the way to build a team anymore. You can't build it by just trading for a guy, gutting your system, gutting your depth, and expecting to be able to compete with other teams that have 9, 10, 11 players deep, while you have 4. That's not a recipe for success. And that's where Giannis is. It's time to go. I don't know where he's going to go, because it's very hard for any team to say, okay, we want Giannis, but you're going to have to give up so much to have to get him that you're literally going to put him back in the same position that he was with Milwaukee. That's the problem, is that, yeah, you might want to get him, but what do you have to give up to get him? This ain't one of those Luka situations where you can just go get him for some washed up 31-year-old center, right? This is a guy that you're literally going to have to trade 4, 5, 6 players for to just get him and maybe somebody else. So you're losing depth just on the trade alone. Talent-wise, forget about it, right? So there's a lot that goes into trading for a guy like Giannis. But if I'm Giannis, I have to try to see where I can be able to go, because this is getting ridiculous. You give me Doc Rivers as a damn head coach. He's the greatest scary movie on planet Earth. When it comes to Game 6, Game 7, you don't know what the hell to do. This roster is not good. We've gotten so far. It's over. Tell your agent, start facilitating a trade, see what the actual interest is out there, and go from there, because there's just no help. There's no help. Moving on. Oh, shouts to Evan Mobley for winning Defensive Player of the Year. Had a great year for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Just always been a dynamic player coming out of USC, man. I had such high hopes for this kid when I seen him play at SC. I was like, he's going to be one of the most dynamic players in the league. And I wasn't lying. I saw it then. I see it now. He is rangy, be able to block shots. He can hit the outside shot. He's good at rebounding. He's good at getting, having a presence around the rim. Soft touch. There's a lot of things to like about Evan Mobley. And the one thing I love about him as well is that he's a team guy. He's not a big rah-rah guy. Gets his money, does his work. Very lunch pail. So shouts to him for winning Defensive Player of the Year, as long as it's not Draymond Green. Right? As long as Draymond Green don't win it, I don't care. And Rudy Gobert. That bum. Right? Give it to somebody else. So shouts to Evan Mobley for winning that. Moving on. I don't necessarily want to talk about this guy, but I think I just may have to. How many times have I talked about Nico Harrison on the show? A lot, right?
I would say a lot.
This is, the fans are getting louder. The stories are starting to leak. It's starting to get real bad. This dude had the nerve to say he had no idea that the fans cared about Luka so much. Bruh, where are you from? Like, where did they get this guy?
It's like, does he even pay attention to the team?
You even pay attention to anything?
Yeah.
How do you take a job and not understand what the lifeline or what the importance are for this team? How are the revenue splits looking? What does our merchandise look like? What does our attendance look like? What does the gate look like? All of these things. How many people are out there with Kyrie Irving shirts? How many people are out there with Luka shirts? Nico's about 98% of Luka. Oh, okay. And that's the guy that you decide to trade? Because defense wins championships? We got so many different stories out here. Jason Kidd, they said, resented Nico Harrison, Lakers front office after. So Jason Kidd is upset about the trade. Everybody, what gave it away? Of course, we're hearing that Dumont is losing confidence in Nico Harrison. They had a press conference the other day, and some reporter asked him, why do you think you should keep your job? Why do you think you should keep your job? Oh, it's just because I've done a good job here, and you can't hold the injuries against me. We have to see what this roster looks like when it's full season, everybody's healthy. Yeah, but you forgot something. Ain't no Luka there. So you're talking about health and making sure that your guys are healthy throughout the season. You have Anthony Davis on your team. Yes, he's been fairly healthy over the last 5 years, but this is a guy that tends to get hurt in games, big games, where he has to take himself out for a quarter or two. He gets hit in the eye. He's dropping on the floor. He's wincing. He's grimacing in pain. All of this, he goes through all of these things within a game. Somebody hits his shoulder. You ever seen that episode of Family Guy where he's over? I think he hit his knee and he was just on the side, just like and he was doing this shit for like 5 straight minutes. That's Anthony Davis. He's always hurt, and that's a problem. So you decided to change or trade your best player, your go-to, where the offense is run through. Fans are clamoring to get tickets just because they want to see Luka. This guy was Dallas. He was the embodiment of the team. You had Dirk Nowitzki that used to enjoy coming to the games to watch Luka. Now he don't want to come to no damn Dallas games no more. I was only coming for him. Now you get rid of him? Like, what are we doing? Jason Kidd loves the Dallas Mavericks, right? Played for them, won a championship here. She's like, oh, you took my best player. What am I supposed to do with this? What am I supposed to do with this? So yeah, it's a complete disaster over there. I feel bad for, like I said, I feel bad for Dallas Mavericks fans. But it says now, months removed after the stunning Luka trade, Kidd resented the Mavs front office over the latter half of the season. While Kidd was understandably frustrated this season with the team's injury crisis, he also resented the front office's mid-season trade. Even if he shared some of Harrison's frustrations with Luka, that led to his team trading him. So yes, I'm sure that there's some frustrations to have a guy that's not in the best of shapes, that tries to rush himself back and doesn't have the right discipline that you would want your star player to have. It's still Luka. He's still a guy that was giving you 38, 8, and 8, and he's out of shape. Could you imagine if this guy gets in shape? So how about y'all try to put some protocols in and try to help this dude get to where he needs to be, instead of saying, defense wins championships, and you might not like it, but that's what I think. He's a fucking idiot. He's an idiot. Dumont, idiot. So if I'm Jason Kidd, I'm resigning. The fans need to give away all their season tickets. And at some point, we know that this is coming. At some point, Nico Harrison is going to be shocked to know that they've let him go. He'd be like, I did what you asked me to do. I shook this thing up. I tried to change it. Yeah, well, we didn't expect this. We trusted you to be able to put things together, but man, we had no idea you were going to trade Luka. So it's like you think that people would move on and support the team because it happens all the time. Players get traded every year. Players get traded that don't want to get traded. Players find out that they were traded on ESPN or Instagram, whatever it is. This is a lot different. You rip the actual essence of the team away and expect the fans to eat it. Expect the fans to just sit there at the table and just eat whatever dish you give them. No. This is a revolution. This is an upheaval. And they're going to continue to want heads to roll. And if Dumont is smart, he gets Nico out the door. Like I said, there is space for the Lakers to hire Nico. You want a job? Come to LA. We're good with you. But this has been a complete disaster. I have never seen this level of dysfunction and this level of idiocy in the front office in my life when it comes to basketball. We've had some bad ones. This one might go down as the worst situation and also the worst trade in NBA history. It is. Moving on. What the hell was I going to say? There was a topic that just came to my head. Can't remember it now. Now it's time for my irrelevant news of the week.
You got to be kidding me. I mean, how do you watch the... I mean, yeah, they stink.
Every week we go ahead and we discuss certain topics on Assassin. See what we got here. Let's see. Why am I in this app? Alrighty. Let's see what we got. We have Florida man who walks to work, turns in $20,000 he found to police, and the police rewarded him with a bicycle. Now, you look at that story and you're like, oh, so good. I mean, this guy walked to work. He was, it wasn't even in shape neither. He's a fat guy, got a big pouch, but found this $20,000, man, and did the Good Samaritan thing and said, hey, this is not mine. I don't know who it is. Please do something with it. And the cop's like, oh, where are you going? Go to work. You don't have a car or anything? Financially, whatever it is, or I just like to walk. And they give him a bike. I would be so mad. I just gave you $20,000 and you give me some Huffy? Like, get the hell out of here. Can I get some cash with that?
Yeah, a Walmart bike.
Yo!
Gonna break.
Yeah! This cheap ass mountain bike that you give me with the brakes don't work. Like, I'd rather walk.
Yeah.
You know how there's some bikes out there that's so bad you'd rather walk? Mm-hmm. Spokes is all messed up, the wheels are warped. I don't want that garbage. And then I just gave you 20 bands and you don't give me nothing in my hand, no cash. Mm-hmm. You could have probably gave me the whole 20. Say, yo, we ain't got nothing to do with this, bro. Hey, take that. Thank you for bringing it in. Mm-hmm. We appreciate that. We appreciate the Good Samaritan thought behind it. Take the 20. Or here's 10. Here's 5. Here's $1,000. Yeah. You give me a Huffy?
Even spend on a cheap used car $2,000-$3,000.
Right.
Car. You know, so ride in the hot Florida heat.
Take the $10,000. Go get him a car. Get him cleared and be all right. You get him a bike. I was so mad when I seen this.
That's what do they even where do the police give the money to when it's just random money? Where does it even go? It's just held in the station or
for evidence.
Yeah, is it go in the evidence closet or
it definitely goes to the evidence closet. All right. A lot of OnlyFans subscriptions have been placed and purchased since that man has brought that $20,000 in. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Took pocketed some of it and be like, oh, I found 15.
Yeah. It's the reason why I can't be no cop. I couldn't be no cop. I found $50,000. I'm pocketing that shit. I've seen too many dirty cop movies out there for them to be like, yeah, like I make $25,000. This is my whole paycheck right here. This is my whole year salary. I'm taking it. When I pull up in a Ferrari, then they be like, okay, what gives? Internal affairs will get me. They'll get me. They'll figure it out because I couldn't hide it. But damn that, man. You're not going to let me turn in $20,000 and you give me a bike? That's disrespectful. The only people that like that is call. Cause, ooh, got me a bike. No. Money is what I want. Like Gabby. Give me the money. Moving on. Let's see what else you got here. We have. Oh, this is funny. It was only a matter of time before, people started making up their own Mount Rushmore memes. Like we've seen this happen with actors, comedians, but they went ahead and put out the Mount Rushmore of black porn stars. Yo, Silas Hassa, I ain't gonna lie to you. This Mount Rushmore right here can't beat it. It's not debatable right here. You got some legends on this. You got Pinky, you got Jada Fire, you got Cherokee, and who's this again? This is Flip had interviewed her a while back. What's her name, man? It'll come to me.
I'm not really in that.
Yeah,
world.
it'll come to me.
These people are.
But let me tell you something. When I was, obviously I'm dating back now, 14, 15, like all of those names that I just mentioned, they were all like big superstars at that point. And as a kid that was exposed to those things until you got to high school, you're like, holy crap, what is going on here? This is a world that I've never even realized existed. What? So anybody that's my age understands, they know these names and like, yep, know exactly what he's talking about. Had a whole bunch of booty talk DVDs. But look, who would be your Mount Rushmore of like directors?
Directors? I go with Nolan, Christopher Nolan.
Okay, you're going with Nolan. You got 3 more.
Stanley Kubrick.
Okay, Stanley Cooper.
A newer one, I'll go Jordan Peele.
Okay, Jordan. Listen, in regards to creativity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go with I don't know if you know Noah Baumbach.
I've heard the name, but give me a film that he's done. Anything big?
He's like very, he doesn't make like big movies. He did like a Marriage Story. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
It came out a few years ago. So I like the way his movies are told, like the shots are very interesting. So I like him a lot. And 5th one.
I think it's only 4 from Mount
4?
Rushmore. Yeah. So those are your 4?
Yeah.
That's good.
So yeah.
It's good. We always have our Mount Rushmores for certain things, man. It's but when I saw this, I laughed so hard because I was like, I knew somebody was gonna do it. I knew somebody was gonna jump out the window and have this list. But it's elite. I can't dispute this. Can't dispute this. What else we got here? Oh, there you go. So we got a little bit more of this Nico Harrison thing. Mavericks owner Patrick Dumont no longer sees Nico Harrison as the figure with irreproachable knowledge and is frustrated that Harrison didn't warn him about how Mavericks fans would react to Luka Doncic getting traded. Like, you buy a team that you have no idea how it's run, who's the important figures. Like, first off, and I'm trying to be nice, but how do you buy the Mavericks and not realize who the star player is and what his importance to the franchise is before you bought it? That's like me going into Cleveland. I'm like, yeah, you know those Cavaliers? Yeah, how much you willing to sell it for? $2 billion? Okay, cool. Here's 2.5. Have you ever watched basketball, sir? A little bit. So I buy the Cavs, and I don't know who LeBron James is. Do you understand how stupid that sounds? Mm-hmm. You're buying something that you don't understand what the most important asset is that you bought.
It's like people just want to buy a team just so they own a team, not even realizing who's even on it, what they mean. Like, even seeing all, like, the Luka stuff, even how he reacted, it's just like, this is his whole world, his whole life was Dallas. And then no one knows, like, there's no communication to, like, front office and player.
Sounds like I'm telling you right now, nobody cares about Dak Prescott in Dallas, right? No one. But when you mention Luka's name, mm-hmm. everybody knows him. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, we love him. That don't get that kind of love. Yeah, you got some supporters out there, but he don't get the Luka kind of love. So for you to come into Dallas and say that you're purchasing this team and you don't know the importance of the one player that everybody loves, you're a fucking moron. And I'm starting to realize that, yes, Nico Harrison is a dumbass, but he was given carte blanche by a bigger dumbass. Dumas, dumbass. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, dude, I feel bad. I do, but then I don't, because why should I ever feel bad for a billionaire? Mm-hmm. Why? Why do I feel bad for a guy like Nico Harrison? You got money. Even if they fire your ass, you'll be fine. You may not work in basketball again, but you'll be fine. You got millions of dollars. You're good. I don't feel sorry for you. But I can call you a dumbass. Absolutely crazy. What other stories we got? We have everything is Shannon Sharpe here. We covered that already. That is it. That is my irrelevant news of the week.
You got to be kidding me. I mean, how do you watch the... I mean, yeah, they stink.
Now, Silent Assassin, we talk about our favorite team. Those Mets. Thoughts? I'd like to have you have the opening salvo. We are nearly a month, into the season. Please, discuss. How do you feel?
I obviously feel really good. The number one team in baseball. I don't know if it's still tonight. I didn't see the standings, so we're still number one. But we were both at the games this past week. Had an amazing time. Felt great to be back there.
Oh yeah.
All the fan love and everything was great.
I wasn't gonna discuss this.
Okay.
But I don't think I can go with you to a baseball game. You turn into this monster of a jock, and you have this deep voice. Oh, let's go. You gotta just run. What is happening here? Scared the hell out of me. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That's not that's not a normal thing. I don't know what it was.
I don't believe you.
It just even I sent to my family. I was like, who was that?
Right.
Like,
who is
that?
What is happening here?
I do get into a thing where I like to kind of, I want to say make fun of, but you hear the guys in the background.
Yes.
So I like to pretend
yes.
talking like that and stuff. So I'm kind of playing around with who's around me as well.
You're a chameleon.
Crazy. Yeah. So I'm not once we leave the gates, I'm back to normal.
Listen, there's something about that place that drives people crazy.
Yeah.
Because when I went there, I act like a complete animal when I'm in Citi Field. I do. It's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
So I might get past it, but you scared the hell out of me. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was just like,
don't worry, it's not like I had like, what is going on? Are you okay? Like I said, how drunk were you when you recorded this? I was like, I like it just being there. Like I was so excited to be back.
it makes you smile. Like when I was there with Jasmine, she's like, I haven't seen you smile this much in so long. I'm like, this is my place of peace. Like I literally come here alone. I go to a baseball game alone. One ticket, please.
Yeah.
I'm out of there. And I'm in the crowd with people high-fiving, we're talking, we're having a good time. It's a party.
Yeah.
Anytime you go to Citi Field and have a game, and there's a game there, it's just a party. And that's why I love going there. And I can imagine you feel the same way. So the fact that the season is going the way it's going, man.
Yeah. It's an awesome feeling. And it's like even I was seeing people, obviously, there's always going to be the haters on a set, so it's like, oh, the Mets aren't even that good, like they're just overperforming right now and things are just gonna come crashing down,
Right.
Which like coming into the season, we said like the number one I wouldn't say concern, but question mark was the pitching. Been the best pitching in all of baseball, so it's like, it's a month in, like we've seen
There's
more
a huge
significant
sample
time
size, right?
of, okay, this is really working.
Exactly.
The offense has been slow for the most part, but it's starting to pick up, and to see what's to come, like when Soto's going to be 100% Soto, this team is going to be no games lost. Everybody's going to be kicking,
It's going to be LeVar Ball. Never lost. Never lost. But yeah, I feel the same way. And David Stearns' philosophy is starting to ring very consistent and very true. We don't necessarily need to have the high-end starter that you go ahead and go pay. We don't need Corbin Burns. We don't need to be paying no money for that. We don't need a Max Fried. We have Kodai Senga, who's legitimately our ace. He's our ace. He's been lights out since the season has started. Sean Manaea hasn't pitched for us yet.
Yeah.
Right? Frankie Montas hasn't pitched for us yet. And we've been getting quality starting pitching from our starters, our bullpen, Kranick, Brazaban. Obviously we got to talk about, El Sugar. Yes, he's a closer. Diaz is he is what he is, right? But he's getting the job done, right? So you got, AJ Minter. You have all of these guys that can come in and stop the bleeding. Reed Garrett, all of these guys that are just good, man. And I have nothing bad to say. Lindor, it's the first time I've ever seen him have a start like this to the season, which means that he may end up having a banner year this year. There's odds right now. He's kind of like the odds maker to win MVP, right? Early on, him, Pete, you got Tatis out there. So you got these guys that are doing their thing. But I am so happy to watch these Mets. They're playing with emotion, with camaraderie. You can see the chemistry there. Bringing back Jesse Winker was a godsend because we needed a guy like that, a glue guy. Acuna has been amazing. Amazing. Love Acuna. I love that decision that Stearns made. And again, another Stearns gem. Let's not go ahead and go get, some other bat to bring in here. Let's not go get Iglesias. Let's let the young kids do it. Let's see what they can be able to do. Prove to me that I know that you guys are talented enough to be able to handle this responsibility, right? All those things are great. All those things are wonderful that we just talked about. But the biggest thing for me, man, I seen the news today. I said, oh, Jeff McNeil's back. Great. Wait a second. Oh, McNeil's back. So what that means is, somebody had to get optioned. Well, Hayden Senger liked him, right? Got a good arm. Really good. He's been very, very, it's been very, very underrated for me.
He did a really nice job.
Really nice job as a backup. But then there was this other name that floated around and got optioned. What? Who can this be? Brett Bailey, get your ass back to AAA where you belong. I loved it. And the crazy part is that, listen, I don't want to throw dirt on the kid, man. He's not dead. He's alive and ticking. He still has a career. He hit a home run the last game. Cool. Yeah, great. Mm-hmm. But you can do that in AAA. Mm-hmm. Right? Let the big boys do what they got to do. Bring up McNeil, get Alvarez back up here, and let's do work. Let's do work. Because with Alvarez and McNeil back in that lineup, oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Like, just having players come back from injury, like you said, Manaea, when his time comes, when Monta's time comes, to have these two bats back is just adding more to what's already, like, here and what's been working.
Yeah.
So, like, I literally, there's no losses coming in any time.
I just like you said, too, you know, in regards to Soto, when he gets going, it's just going to bring another dynamic to this offense. Like, right now, what he's doing is just he's allowing the game to kind of play out. He's getting walks. He's trying to get on base. What I've noticed about him, though, and I'm curious to know what you think, a lot of ground balls. He's not lifting the ball at all right now. But I think that's a testament to how they're pitching him. Mm-hmm. You know, if they're not pitching him way upstairs, everything's in the dirt. Mm-hmm. And he's going to have to try to make some adjustments. Or he's going to have to, whoever's in, obviously, Lindor is getting a lot more pitches to hit because of Soto. And Soto is not really getting that many great pitches to hit, even though Pete is tearing the cover off the ball. So we'll see how that continues. I'm still not a big fan of Pete hitting in the third hole. I would rather McNeil or Vientos hitting in that spot, and then putting Pete back to where he truly belongs in the cleanup. But we'll see how it goes. I just think that Soto batting second in this lineup just doesn't really make sense. For other lineups, yeah, fine. If you have Judge behind you, okay, cool. Mm-hmm. If you have, Fernando Tatis behind you, okay, cool. If you have Manny Machado behind you, okay, great. But in this particular lineup, I just don't think it plays. Now, we're 18-7. Yeah, it's great. You can be able to just kind of sit there and be happy. But can you really be able to sustain that throughout an entire season of him not getting the pitches and him not seeing the pitches that he's supposed to be seeing? So I want to see how Mendy kind of goes about that and what Soto actually says. If he's open to moving a spot down in the lineup and then having somebody else go there, or staying there and then putting somebody else in the 3-hole and then moving Pete back down to clean up. So curious to see what happens there. Moving on. I never thought that I would see this level of dysfunction with the Atlanta Braves. I am so happy. I hate them. I hate their fans. I think that they are the biggest scam artists. And if there was an internal affairs department in baseball, I would send them to the Braves. Because there's no way that you're going to be able to tell me that Michael Harris is going to go ahead and take a deal where he's locked in for 9 years at $9 million a year. What planet do we live on? Does that even make fucking sense? That a guy like Matt Olson can be able to sign that contract that he signed? Matt Olson has been making $35 million right now at any other team.
Yeah, they're like the deals that they give out and then the players accept.
It's criminal.
It's like basically free.
Yeah.
For the value.
You get Verdugo for $1.5 million? Uh-huh. What are we doing?
It's wild. But it's like, I always say, like, still, like, it's the culture, whatever, that the conversations that happen behind closed doors, the players get on board.
The lying.
Yeah.
It's the gaslight. It's a cult. That's what it is. You ever seen a cult? People don't really know that they're in a cult until they're in it. It's a cult. Well, that cult is slowly starting to dissolve, and I love it, right? Because Ronald Acuna Jr. has been very vocal about what's going on with what's the manager's name? Snicker? Snickers?
Sure.
we gonna call him a Snickers from now on. So he's mad with Snickers, right? Because Jared Kelenic did some wild shit. He didn't want to run, right? He was over here hot dogging it, got thrown out, right? And Acuna was like, "Oh well, if that was me, he'd have benched me." And it's true because it happened before, right? So you question a guy's, his passion or whatever it is. So you got him on radar, but Jared Kelenic gets to get away with it. And the thing is, and what's crazy about his explanation, right? Oh, I wasn't watching. So how are you a manager in a game? Your baseball game going on. What else you got going on where you're not watching the game?
Yeah, that's what your job is, to watch.
Like, yo, what are we?
Game.
Listen, I know what's happening. And let me see if you agree with this. Ronald Acuna is bitter. He's bitter because I think that for the first time in his life, he's realized that the Braves took advantage of him. Meaning that, listen, they won a World Series while he was hurt, right? So that can make a player feel a way, but that's not really in this story. That's separate. But you go ahead and sign a kid out of Dominican Republic, right? You then convince him and say, hey, listen, we're not even going to worry about giving you the international, slated scale contract. We're just going to pay you outright. Give you $13 million a year. So you'll be making big money as a 17-year-old. Yeah, that sounds good at 17. But when you lock that in for 10 years, how is that going to make you look when you're a former MVP? When you're literally a top 5 player in the sport when healthy, you're making $13 million a year and you can't get out of it. And by the time that contract is up, he'll be 29 or so, maybe 30. Could possibly get another long-term deal depending on his health and his production. But you're wasting a lot of prime years and earning potential because they took advantage of you as a very young player that was just trying to support his family. That's where the animosity comes from. Is that, yes, you can be able to look at Snickers and say that you're an idiot, right? Is that there is some favoritism there, right? Jared Kelenic is not even a sixth of the player that Ronald Acuna is. And he's been bouncing around the league for reasons. There's a reason why he's been bounced around the league. It's a fact. And then you got this kid where he's just like, I'm an MVP. I'm great. They pretend like they don't want me here. So very, very soon, you're going to probably start seeing some trade rumors go out there where I think the Braves are going to start kicking the tires on what a trade for Acuna looks like. And you might have Acuna with his representation say that, try to get me out of here, because I think this is the only way that it's going to resolve itself. But do you want to be that team to trade a top 5 player in the league? And what are you going to get back? I mean, you probably get back some decent prospects, but do you want to do that? The only way that you can be able to make it right is make it right. Give him an extension on the back end, a super extension where you keep him in Atlanta for the next 15 years. But at least he knows that once this contract is up, he's going to get a big, big salary. Because right now, it's all money related and it's all comfort level, I think, with him, is that they they don't look at him as the guy anymore. They just look at him as a guy. And if I'm the Mets, so we got Jet Williams here. You know, people say he's pretty good. You want him? We got Drew Gilbert here. You want Ryan Clifford? You want these? You can have them. Mm-hmm. Just give us Ronnie. Just think about any team that trades for Acuna at this point. You're getting a top 5 player that's making $13.5 million a year for the next 5. Are you crazy? Do you know what kind of value that is? Yeah. I would give up 5 of my top prospects if that's the case. Because you're literally keeping your costs down to be able to compete for a World Series. Mm-hmm. You don't have to pay this guy for the $40 million that he's going to get outside of that. Thoughts about that?
Yeah. It's, even just the thought of even this situation happening is crazy.
Yeah.
This is the type of guy you want to lock down forever. But yeah, even besides that, the tweet situation he had, there was when Freeman was even on the team, some kind of issues with Acuna. So I just feel like from him, he might just feel like he's just getting picked on. Why me? I should be the guy on this team. I'm the best player. I even think when he's healthy, he's the best in all the league.
He's amazing.
1 or 2. So just giving that treatment. Obviously, when you're a younger player and you're doing the wrong things, you want to kind of pull him aside, give him a chat. Okay,
right.
Don't do that again. And then you know how it is. But now he's been in the league for however many years. Everyone should be getting the same treatment.
Absolutely.
Especially when it is Jared Kelenic, where he's didn't really live up to the hype that he was when he was a prospect. So kind of it belongs to everybody. But yeah, I would definitely in a heartbeat give up everything for him to be a New York Met.
I'm telling you, man.
With his brother.
Yeah.
Love it.
Exactly. We ain't trading him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Luis stays.
Yeah. Both.
But you can have Jet. You have Jet. You have everything else that's in here. You want Jonathan? Take him. Take them all. I'm telling you, that's a guy that you would because think about it. You can shore up your outfield defense. You solve the problem in regards to getting you a bona fide 3-hole hitter. Mm-hmm. You put that with Pete, Soto, Lindor.
It's all-star team.
What are we talking about? What are we talking about here? Come on, man.
Road to the show, the franchise.
Matter of fact, you know what? Listen, tomorrow when I come home from work, I'm cracking the show, and I'm going to do that trade. I'm trading all the prospects for Ronnie Acuna.
Yeah, it is it's Braves, what are you?
It's just a disaster.
What are you thinking about? Yeah.
I just think that the fact that they won the World Series without him kind of gives them this level of hubris where they're like, do we really need him? Yeah, motherfucker, you do.
What his MVP was
that 23?
Yeah, 40-60, whatever, something like
that.
Yeah,
no.
Crazy.
It's 40-70.
I was like, who's the first person ever to do
that? Until Shohei came and fucking 50-50. The dude hit 46 home runs. It was 46 or 40, and then had 75 stolen bases. Yeah. And hit over 300.
It's wild.
What are you doing with that?
Yeah. So it's it just makes, again, no sense to not want to lock up. Even give him an extension. What is that, worth? You can, I'm sure he could still probably even give you a deal on, a more player-friendly extension as well, so.
Yeah, I mean, look what Bobby Witt got, right? Look what Bobby Witt got. Oh, did he get drafted? I think he got drafted. I think Shador got drafted.
I didn't see it. I closed it out after the Chiefs.
Oh, okay. So maybe he didn't get drafted yet. But the kid is Yeah, so I don't know what they're doing, but they need to figure it out. They need to figure it out, figure out how they're gonna go forward, and make that situation right. Because if they lose this kid, if it really gets to the point where things have kind of broken down to the point where there is no rectifying it, like that would be one of the worst situations that any team can ever look at, because now you have to trade this guy who's one of the best players in baseball. So it might not get there. They might end up figuring it out and, mending the fences. Obviously, when he gets back and he's healthy, he can be a lot more important to the franchise. And a lot of times that happens as well, too, right? Like when you're hurt and you're seeing things from a distance, you start to feel very distant from the franchise, and he's been hurt the last few seasons now, right? He's healthy, hurt. So now he's trying to regain that level of consistency that he had before the knee problems. And whenever you're missing in action for a while and things are changing around you, it gets very scary. It gets to the point where it's like, well, do they really need me anymore? Do my teammates going to accept me the way they used to? Is the front office do they still believe in me and still believe in my abilities? Like, all of those things are probably going through his mind, and he sees things like this, and he's just kind of like, he's feeling bitter. Plus, you see everybody else around you getting money. Okay, Bobby Witt, they didn't even wait to pay him, and he's locked in for, the next 10, 12 years or whatever it is, making $25 million a year. Like, Bobby Witt, no disrespect to him, he's great. He not better than me. You know what I'm saying? Juan Soto's $800 million. I would say that I'm probably better than Juan Soto. Like, so there's a lot going on there, and I just hope that the Braves screw up so we can get him. But if they don't, just make sure that Snickers don't come after my man. Make sure they treat him with respect. We seen this report about MSG and Yes Network possibly merging. What are your thoughts on that?
Garbage.
Absolute rubbish. Like, there's one thing about the Yes Network. I don't want to be mean, but have you ever even tried to watch the Yes Network? It was boring.
Yeah, I think the only time, like, if there was like an important game, I just want to watch something.
Yeah.
Or there was, I think sometimes like SNY is not connecting. You gotta get the subway, so you gotta turn that on. But it's just, it's hard to get through.
It really is. Yeah. Like, I can't stomach Michael K. I just can't. Can't. And Susan Walden, is she there? She's on the radio, right? Susan Walden.
Yeah, she's out there.
Yeah, I can't deal with Michael K. Can't deal with him. But yeah, obviously Dolan has the money to be able to do whatever he wants. If he wants to merge it and make it a super company, then it makes sense. Rather than have two separate channels, you can have one, both channels on, both networks on one channel, make it a super channel, and be able to get a lot more content out that way. So, James Dolan, when it comes to cable and all that stuff and controlling the narrative with MSG, he knows what he's doing. I'm not going to say anything about James Dolan when it comes to that. But merging Yes and MSG is kind of like merging mayonnaise and peanut butter together. It's just like, why? Yeah. Why? It's not a good combination. Sucks. So, yeah. Now it's time for the greatest segment on the planet, Dummy of the Week.
Dummy, yeah.
Every week I go around the room and I ask, who is the Dummy of the Week? There's nobody here. Claude's on vacation. Jimmy is out of commission. He has school. Shouts to him. Silent Assassin. What do you got?
I'm gonna go with Donald Trump and some other people.
You pussy. You are an enabler. That's what you are. Is that you constantly reel me back in, and I have to go ahead and talk about this, but I'm curious to hear it. Why is Donald Trump the
Dummy, yeah.
I saw something that he had like a tweet talking about the Massapequa High School. They hadn't changed their mascot, which is I don't know their team name, but it is like a chief, like a tribal chief.
Okay.
So he was saying, well, I think, Massapequa High School has the right to keep this mascot, and, I support them. They shouldn't have to get rid of it. And people at the school were like, yeah, like, we want to keep it. Because there was, like, a deadline where everything had to be removed and changed over. And he's like, this is a part of history. If the Kansas City Chiefs can have the logo, why can't they? And then you had actual, like, Native Americans come in. It's like, this is offensive. I don't want this. So it's obviously, if we kind of talked about how the situation with the Redskins, like their family, they want to bring that back. Yeah. That's cool. That's their decision to make. Not everybody
has that same feeling.
So if you have people who are offended, get rid of it. Right. If the families still want it, okay, cool. But you have Donald Trump saying, yeah, keep it. This is like America. We got to keep these things. It's like, come on, bro.
Listen, when you talk about tone deaf and have no idea about what's important and what's going on, I mean, we just saw over the weekend, not even over the weekend, over the week, where we're putting these tariffs on China. And China's just over here like, sure, buddy. we're going to do all these things. Sure, buddy. All we're going to do is go ahead and go talk to our partners. We're going to go ahead and make this deal over here. Okay, we're going to put Temu and Shein over here in Mexico, and now we're going to be able to have Temu and Shein warehouses in Mexico, and now we're creating hundreds and thousands of jobs over here, so we don't necessarily need the U.S. to be able to broker those deals anymore. And if you want to come to Mexico to come get these products, you can get it for free. No tax. You pay whatever our cost is, but you ain't got to pay tax on it like you pay tax in America. So keep acting the way you're acting, because guess what? I don't care. That's what China's literally telling us, right? Tariffs, right? Well, here comes Target, here comes Walmart, here comes all of these big companies in the United States, and their billionaires are crying and says, Donald, if you keep continuing to do this, all our shelves are going to be empty. Nobody's buying anything. We're going to all be out of business. Oh, billionaires crying that they have no money. Oh, how sad.
Very sad.
How sad. Wow. Right? That's when he said, oh, okay, well, maybe we got to pull back on these tariffs. You don't say. Like, people need to really understand what tariffs do. I've explained it on this show several times. People still don't get it, and cool. It's your business. You don't want to understand and listen. Cool. They're not good. Like targeted tariffs for certain trade negotiations are fine, but when you think that a tariff is a good economic policy to have, you're a moron.
Especially too when it's 30%.
Like, you're a moron. And for him to come out and say, oh, well, if the price of cars raise, I don't care. You know why he doesn't care? Because Donald Trump hasn't driven a car in 40 years. Probably longer. Hasn't driven a car in a long time. And guess what he's not doing now? Driving a car, because he's driving around and being rode around in government-issued federal vehicles.
Bulletproof machine.
He doesn't give a shit about you paying extra $6,000 on top of your car note. Or buying a car. You think he cares? No billionaire cares about you. No matter if they're billionaires in name only. Real billionaires don't give a shit about the American people. And that's why you had people in China saying, you guys don't need to get angry. You need a revolution. You need to realize that how you do things is harming your people instead of helping your people. But you know what? Like I said, I'm not going to go into it. Donald Trump, you get the
Dummy. Yeah.
I can go ahead and go on forever, but it's not that kind of show. You know, Claude tells me not to get political. Silent assassin, she drives me back into it. Yeah, enabler. That's what you are. But that's great. That was a good one. I have one. May I have the drum roll, please? And the winner for Dummy of the Week, LeBron James. LeBron James gets my
Dummy. Yeah.
Now, everybody knows when it comes to LeBron, I defend him till the cows come home, right? I'm always in defense mode when it comes to LBJ. I'm always going to defend him. However, I can't defend this, okay? You go ahead and you get poked in the eye in the game against the Wolves. And he's on the floor, and he's writhing in pain, and he got his hand on his eyes. And then I'm over here like, damn, man, they just took my man out of the game. This sucks, right? What the hell? What are we going to do for game 3? What's happening? Like, I got Luka, but I need more. I need Braun to be there, right? Nervous now. I'm over here watching the TV with bated breath, like, oh, please get up. Just rub your eyes, man. Come on, get up. And then all of a sudden, he goes from, grimacing in pain to then doing one of these. I'm like, nah, son. What is that? You lying? Don't do that, man. Like, I understand the flopping. The flopping is fine, but that was just so blatant. I was like, bruh, I constantly defend you, man. And I have no problem with it. I don't lose any sleep defending LeBron. People call me, they text me, they send me memes, all of this nonsense. I'm getting Jordan garbage every day, right? Everything. Oh, well, Kevin Gates said this about LeBron. Why you ain't push up on him? You ain't got to push up on everybody that says something about him. Who cares? I'm always defending LeBron. I can't defend him here, right? Don't do this. Just kind of play it off. Get one of your teammates to like whisper in your ear, you all right, man? All right, the camera's on you. Don't do nothing crazy. That's how you gotta do it. You can't blatantly do that in public right there because it's just gonna add to your legacy of lying. Okay? I can't defend lies. I can't. Come on, man. You gotta be better than that. I seen the flops. All of this other stuff that you do. Enough. I was fed up with LeBron that night. I was just like, you know what? You had me fooled. I thought you were hurt. I thought that you were really. I was concerned. I was concerned about the perplexity and the series. What the hell was gonna happen if LeBron had to sit out a couple games because he got his eye poked out of his head? What's happening here? And then you go ahead and you do this. You lied to the public. You lied to me. LeBron James, you gotta eat that.
Dummy. Yeah.
So that hurt. That hurt to do. I gotta be honest. LeBron gets my Dummy of the Week. That is all for the show. Wanted to send thoughts and prayers to the Arenas family. Elijah Arenas got into a horrible car accident. He was driving his Tesla truck and somehow wrapped a tree in a hydrant, and he was taken to the hospital. He was in critical condition. They had to put him in an induced coma. Update is now that he's stable, no broken bones, no crazy head injuries. He just, I believe they said the only reason why they put him in the coma was because of the inhalation of the smoke of what he got, to kind of clear him out and get him settled. But 18 years old, hell of a player, dynamic player, one of the best players in high school, if not the best at his age right now in this current year. But as a father, even if Gilbert Arenas wasn't this great player in the NBA when he was playing, if Elijah Arenas was never a basketball player, you still have an 18-year-old young kid that's in the hospital fighting for his life because he got into a bad accident. And as a father, that never sits well because, you know, as a parent, you never want to outlive your kids. And even when something bad happens, obviously, you know, we've seen how life can be able to change for LeBron James and his family, right? You know, we're praying and we're hoping that Elijah Arenas can be able to walk out of that hospital on his own accord and be able to continue his career. But there are going to be some changes for their family as well, right? And you just hate to see it, man. Like I had this physical reaction when I saw the news, like my heart felt like it dropped out of my chest, because that's just never the news and never the image that you want to see. And I'm just hoping that the kid can be able to bounce back from this. You know, the one thing about life is that when you're young, youth is on your side. My mom used to always tell me that. Youth is on your side. So, you know, don't be kind of negligent. You know, still try to take care of yourself, but youth is on your side. So I'm just praying for the best, hoping for the best. Shouts out to Gilbert Arenas and his family, and I'm sure it's such a difficult situation to have to deal with now. But, you know, there's a lot of people out there that have a lot of love for Gilbert, have a lot of love for his son, and want to see him do well, want to see him recover and get back to what he loves to do. So shouts to him, and prayers are definitely up for the family. Any thoughts that you have on anything, Silence Assassin?
You just, you know, however the situation, the accident happened, just, you know, keep your eyes on the road, drive safe, don't speed, and, you know,
Facts.
Just take care of yourself. Yeah.
PSA. When life gets crazy, you can do two things. You can succumb to the difficulties of life and feel sorry for yourself, or you can pick yourself up, make something of your life, and improve and become the greatest version of yourself. Live your dreams and fulfill all of these life goals and travel the world and, you know, live a comfortable life and be well known for your craft and be well respected. And then you can be able to go to bed at night knowing that you've reached this pinnacle of success. And then you can wake up the next morning and then go take the most basic OnlyFans girl and ruin your life. This is all I'm saying is this, right? If you want to go ahead and do some wild shit, just go get the high-end stuff. All right, so I was like, when you get rich and famous, right? Just cut out the middleman, right? Go get some buff dude in Italy. You know what I mean? He has one name. You know what I mean? Everybody knows him by one name, right? He doesn't even have a last name or a middle name. They have no idea, right? And we know what he does. And he has a service, right? And he has a fee. You go ahead and just do that. Just do that. Because don't get caught up in some other stuff thinking that you got control. Because guess what? All it takes is a snap of the finger for somebody to say, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. And that's it. No NDAs, all that stuff. I'm going to start having NDAs for everything now. I'm going to start having NDAs for friendship, right? You want to be my friend, you got to sign this NDA. It ain't nothing nefarious, but you're not going to get me, right? Like, you know, you have those friends that try to, you have them in your car, and you get into a car accident, accident, and then they sue you. How you suing me? What's going on here? Oh, I'm trying to get money out of insurance. You suing me to do that. If you sign an NDA, can't have it. Can't have it. So I'm gonna sign NDA. I'm gonna have NDAs for everything. I'm gonna have an NDA for my kid. Like, look. I am responsible to be able to take care of you, feed you, pick you up from school. But everything else, if it's not in the NDA, can't help you, right? Nah, I'm gonna create one for Jasmine too. These are the things that I expect. These are the things that are gonna go down. And anything outside of this NDA, you can't ask me for. NDAs for everything. That's all I'm saying. That's a PSA for the week. That's a PSA for the year. Don't think that you're in control, because at the drop of a hat, somebody can be able to change your narrative for you and then put you in a tough spot. You go from being at the top of the hill to now you in McDonald's serving fries. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. So, NDA. That's all for the show. Shouts to the Silent Assassin. She's always the MVP. Shouts to everybody that's listening. We will be back next week. Hopefully the Lakers have wrapped up their playoff series by then. Till next week, stay safe, stay cool. Peace.